Classical music now, or classical vocal more specifically. A lot of people know that this is where my basis lies, where a lot of what I have done over the course of my career kind of sits. This is a song that I have done on a number of occasions, and I'm here to be very judgeful. Judgeful? Picky? I don't know. I'm gonna pull this one apart. I have no doubt in my mind Dan's gonna have no issue with the range of this song. We've heard him do incredible stuff before. This particular one has a couple of added little bonuses, at least for me. The importance of this song, the important thing to get right in Time to Say Goodbye, or Con te partirò, is the breathing. If you don't get the breathing right, it becomes very, very difficult and not nearly as impressive. Do I think that Dan has the ability to do it? Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that he has the ability to do it. I'm just wondering how or if he has changed it up a little bit. Because those opening lines, holding that breath for the entirety of that line, adds so much to the beauty of it. And it's usually not something that can be changed. But let's see. Before we begin, please do leave a like on the video. It really does help. If you have not subscribed yet, I would highly appreciate it if you did so. Also, future gym merch in the store at the moment for those who want to get a hold of that. And there's more ways to help at the end if you like what we do. So without any further ado, let's have a listen to Dan Vasc and Rehn Stillnight performing Time to Say Goodbye. Okay, we're going with the classical instrumental, so that says a lot. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Okay, before we go on, this lady here, she understands the assignment. She knows those breathing points and has taken them very, very seriously. When performing this song and when learning this song, especially with classical background, and if it's under the guide rather of a classical teacher, they'll always tell you the same thing, that breathing needs to always be in that precise spot. And the reason being, breaking up... I'll take it back a little bit here. Hang on, sorry. My brain just kind of pooped itself. The way that it was described to me, and I think it's a very apt description, especially of these lines, is think of it as a paint brush stroke. From one end to the other, you don't want that brush stroke to be interrupted at any point with a breath. You want to maintain that flow. You want to maintain that from start to finish, and you want to be able to make sure that by the time you get to the end there, it doesn't sound like you're out of breath. The breath control that is required for this song is kind of insane. I'm not going to lie. So hearing it being done this way sounds really nice. Very, very nice. And her voice is really nice. Really lovely.
Time to say goodbye.
Interesting harmony work in the back there. Beautiful. Okay, I actually want to go back here. It doesn't matter what kind of voice you have here, whether it be male, female, or whatever. This particular jump here, if I remember rightly, it might be an octave jump. Hang on, let's have a look here. Yeah, so it's a full octave jump. No matter where you are in the voice, it usually tends to warrant a change between chest voice and head voice. And the way that this woman has gone from both, has been transitioned between both, is really skillful. It's really, really well done, and I do want to hear it again, because it's really nice, because you can hardly tell. You can hardly tell. So open up the top there. Wonderfully done. Brilliant. Brilliant job. Brilliant. Brilliant. And I assume, yep, so Dan's coming in next. Something else as well, another part, that jump there. What a lot of people that cover this song do is as they take the breath just before. And unfortunately, it kind of kills the momentum of that line and breaks up the beauty of that line. So the way that she's handled that, brilliant. So well done.
Quando sei lontana sogni all'orizzonte mancan le parole.
Really well done, dude.
Sei con me, tu mi alluna, tu sei qui con me.
Okay.
Tu sei qui con me, con me.
Brilliant. Now I actually do want to go back here because there's something he did at the end of a line here that most people don't do, and I'll explain why. But I actually really like it. Hang on.
Quando sei lontana sogni all'orizzonte mancan le parole.
Okay. You can tell there was a twitch in his brain there. You could kind of see that cog going of, shit, this is a long line. But he handled it. He did it really, really well. Like, you can see that. You can see that just that split second. Hang on.
Quando sei lontana sogni all'orizzonte mancan le parole.
There. It's like, parole. It's what happens, though. You get to that point in the song, and you try to maintain as much breath as you can, and then you get to that last part of the line, and it's like, oh, I've just got to let it out. Have I actually saved up enough? It is absolutely... that particular line, I think, might actually be one of the hardest in the song for that reason. That you've just kind of, like, for the parole, you've got to let out so much air on that part. So it's tough. It's really, really tough. He's done that really, really well. He sounds great doing it too. Okay, what a lot of people do there, because classical, is hold that meh and then lead that into the next line. The fact that he staccatoed it, is it staccato? It's close enough. And let the reverb handle that. I like that as a stylistic choice. A lot of classical voice aficionados and like purists are going to hate me for saying that, but whatever. There's a reason I got out of classical music. No, I kid. But it's a very interesting way to approach that, and I think it's really well done and more in keeping with the style that Dan does as well. But having said this, we know that he's got a very, very prominent background of training in this sort of area as well. So he's doing an incredible job. He's just doing a really, really good job. He's hitting all the right notes. He's using all of that breath work properly. It's good, man. It's good.
Mio sole tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me.
It's really well done.
Time to say goodbye.
Good boy. I said boy. I promised myself. I've said that to him once before. I'm never say that again. It's the weirdest things The interesting way that he approaches that too, because you can tell that his training sits here, that he has done this sort of stuff in the past. The way that he throws a note there is very much more in keeping with the rock style that he does now, and it's how I've spoken about where your voice sits as a baseline the more you practice certain things. So, for instance, you have a certain baseline, you start to layer all the proper techniques on top. Those techniques become muscle memory. That becomes your new baseline. You start to add more and more and more like effects and sounds to the voice. And then, again, that muscle memory kicks in. That becomes your new baseline. So what we've got here is we've got the classical stuff that Dan used to do. He's built on top of that for the rock stuff. And this is his new baseline. He can go back to this, but aspects of this tend to seep through. I'm not pointing this out as a negative by any stretch. I just want people to understand that. I'm not pointing it out as any form of negative, just as an understanding that there are still parts of this new stuff that come through. I actually quite like it. It breathes new life into what we've heard time and time and time again. Oh no, I've hit no. Let's go back here. Yeah, but anyway, that's what I was saying there. The content. That's the part that I was saying that he, like the way he throws the te is very, or te. That's the way. That's what I was meaning. Where that's that very rock thing coming through and seeping through. It's really nice. I know there's obviously another note here, but I want to go back here. The reason is I want to hear, so because there's harmony on her voice, not on his voice. I want to hear when that harmony kicks out. If the harmony continues through that high note, I don't believe it does. I just want to hear it out of personal thing. Cuts out the higher stuff. That makes sense. Then it comes back. Brilliant. Hold it. Good stuff. Okay, so something that was super important for that high note there, for that ending note, is what you have, and I've mentioned this Sorry, I thought something was behind, like, to the side of me here. It freaked me out. There was nothing there. So, the same with harmony work, right? So, if you're singing with somebody, something that is super important is to get all of the phrasing spot on. Otherwise, it sounds sloppy. It sounds like there's a mistake. It doesn't work. It doesn't match what you're supposed to be hearing. In this particular case, that's not a problem. They got that phrasing completely fine. It was brilliantly done. Also to the point where that high note at the end was held and finished at the same time. Now, something that I noticed, I believe, I could be wrong in saying this, I think that she had more breath and could have gone longer than that. I don't know whether it was a case of Dan ran out of breath and stopped it there, or if it was a case of that is where they decided that they would stop it. Probably more likely the latter, to be honest. But either way, they ended it at exactly the same point. And that makes it so much more impactful than if you got one person doing it, and then one person... if you got both people hitting that note, both of them go to a certain point and one continues on. It's kind of like, alright, show off. Like, it genuinely gets to that point where it's like, that's great that you can continue holding that, but why? Genuinely. That's just my opinion on it anyway. But they both have it. I'm gonna hear it again. I want to hear it again. Cool. Very, very good. That is very, very good. Very happy. That was very, very cool. All right, so let's discuss it, shall we? What we had here, two very prominent voices. One that we know very, very well on the channel now, and a newcomer as well with... I do forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, but the way it's spelt makes me think that it is Rehn. Rehn Stillnight. Stillnight. That was just me completely stuffing that up. Rehn Stillnight. Both voices incredibly, incredibly good. Both work very, very well in this classical space, and I really enjoy it. There were some interesting choices made, as I pointed out, with Dan like throwing that word at the end of that line there, which was his rock side kind of seeping through, but also there was no problem with it. It stylistically, pardon me, worked and kind of helped to breathe new light into a song that... Let's be honest, this song can be boring. Like, it really can be done boring. And even if you've got two of the greatest singers in the world, they can still do it boring. Now, the harmony work just being on her voice, I don't know if personally I thought that was a great decision. I like the harmony. I love harmony work. But I feel like if it was going to be on one, it might have been good to have on the other as well. Because something felt out of balance for me about it. But having said this, that is being incredibly nitpicky and absolutely personal opinion rather than like a professional, here's what you should do. Again, what we have in terms of phrasing was brilliant. The breath work, which is the thing that I pointed out at the start, was the most important thing with this song, was fine. I had nothing to worry about, genuinely. They did very, very well. To be honest, I'd like to hear their voices come together to do more. I don't know if they have done more together or not, but very, very well done. Honestly, the voices sound really good together. So, that's it. That's all I have to say about this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like a favorite if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Do all that sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, feel free to go over to Patreon and support us for as little as $3 Australian per month. By doing so, you'll join the list of wonderful people here. Also, if you're into gaming, I have recently rebooted my gaming channel, so feel free to go over there and have a look. Link to both the Patreon and the gaming channel in the description below.